A very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning on to the Life Signatures Radio. We are going strong. We continue to talk about these things. Actually, this is a daily show where I talk about purpose, productivity, and resilience. If you're looking for a show, an episode, you're looking for a podcast that is going to instruct, it's going to inspire, it's going to motivate, it's going to make you to scratch your head to think about your life in terms of your purpose, in terms of how productive you are, in terms of how resilient you should be. This is it. We do it on a daily basis. Right now, we are deep in the middle of a series. We've been talking about raising spirit-led children, and by God's grace, we'll continue to talk about the same today in this very episode. We've just come from a very, very, very long messages and episodes that we've been talking about the same subject, and we are not anywhere close to finishing this. So today we continue to delve in and to go deeper, even as we learn how to raise spirit-led children. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
It is not a religious post. It is not a religious episode. You see, matters related to the spirit are not religious things, although they touch on religion. But they cannot only be prosecuted by religion alone. You know, I can prove this to you because if you are not in any organized religion, if you're not subscribed to any organized religion, you still have these thoughts and these longings and these desires and these visions and these passions. Those are spiritual things. They are human. The human is actually a spirit. We are not just flesh and bone and blood. We are spirits. And we perceive things in the spiritual arena. Things, of course, there are people who can prosecute matters in the spiritual arena better. Those ones who have given themselves to religion and all that stuff. But it is not a reserve of religion. Spirit is not a reserve of religion. It's a human experience. We are spirits as human beings. And therefore, if we are in any way interested in parenting, interested in educating, interested in raising spirit-led children, and that's what we should do actually. I do posit here that some of the problems we have, even you as an individual, some of the issues you've had in your life probably are because the spirit angle of your life was negated. It wasn't emphasized. You came, you were born, nobody considered you a treasure. Nobody considered you a spirit. Nobody considered that you are a messenger of the divine. You've been sent here to do stuff. So if you've been sent, you must be having a message. That message is the spirit. It is your passion. It is your core work. It is the things that God has set aside for you to be able to do. That's why you have a spirit inside of you. Let me tell you this, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. If ever there was an absence of the spirit in humanity, that's the end of humanity. That's it. Any successful conglomerate, any multinational, even local company or organization, it is successful because of the spirit within the organization. And every time an organization's spirit is curtailed, for profits. You want to focus more on profits and forget about what brought you to where you are. Anytime the spirit of an organization is curtailed, that organization goes down. I think there's a guy, I read a story about a guy who handed over the reins of his organization that he had formed. It was a coffee, I forgot the name of this. It's a coffee restaurant, I think. Is it Starbucks? Maybe it could be Starbucks. So this owner of this organization handed over the reins of the organization to the next generation, appointed a CEO, and let them lead. You know what? Those guys who came in, they put to shelf the matters related to the spirit of that particular organization. And they wanted to go after profit. So the decisions that they were making were about maximizing profits, but at the expense of the spirit of the organization, which is people. The owner could not stand it, so he came back. And I'm told on particular weeks, they shut down the whole franchise to retrain everybody on the matters related to the spirit of the organization. And then they reopened. Let me tell you this. If we disciple ourselves and we disciple our children in matters related to the spirit, that's the way to go. Because we've tried this other one and it is only helping a few individuals who are book smart. And there's a time we did a very long series here on street smart, raising street smart children and so on. But we're talking about something different here. The first thing we discussed yesterday is that if you do not cherish the inner compass of a child, what is the inner compass? We don't know it. It is not in any textbook. There is no formula for knowing it, but it is there. It is who they really are. What they came to do, it is inside of them. If we negate that particular part, the inner compass, their passion, their core work, what they gravitate towards, if we negate it. Today I was in church and I saw the pastor's kid. I think he was 1 year old. I think he's 1 year or something. Maybe 2 years. Maybe 2. I don't know. But you know what this guy was doing? He had 2 marker pens in his hand, and as the songs were going on, he was pretending like he's a drummer, drumming. Not every kid does that, but this one, he's doing it. And I just caught myself wanting to go to the dad and tell him, please take note of what this kid is doing. It is special. That is the spirit of the child right there. So we need to take note. The inner compass of that particular child is not known. And we spoke about these things in the previous episodes. We said that sometimes the environment is going to bring these things to the fore. Sometimes its hardship is going to bring these things to the fore. You cannot miss it. The thing is that when it shows up, when the inner compass expresses itself, we should not shut it down. We should excavate it. In fact, today, you are not raising a spirit-led child if you are not teaching them the importance of self-extraction. This is worth repeating like 1,000 times. You see, the problem with us is that we think parenting or teaching or discipling or mentoring is opening the head and pouring in information. It is speaking to them. No, it is actually extraction. Raising spirit-led children, parenting, is an excavation, is an extraction exercise, extraction of treasure in this world. Such hidden treasure which is available in every home, whether it's a president's home, it's a prime minister's home, it's a pauper's home, it's a poor man's home, it's an African's home, it's an Asian's home. There is treasure in every home where there is a child. Let me just say, in every home where there is a human being. And that treasure, we've got to learn to extract it. Let me ask you this question. When you send your child to school, when you send them to boarding school at 2 years of age, some of you. Are you sure that where they are going there is extraction going on? There is self-extraction going on, or the opposite? You see, where there is no self-extraction, what is there? It is pouring in the traditions that we talked about yesterday. What did we say tradition was? We said that tradition is fixed. It is fixed in the past. Culture is dynamic and it keeps changing. So if you are not extracting, if you're not the one extracting alone, your responsibility, like we said yesterday, is to know about the inner compass. It is also partly to extract that inner compass, but the greatest service you can ever do to raise a spirit-led child is to teach them to self-extract. Whenever there is oil, and I'm going to spend a bit of time with this self-extraction thing, I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. When there is oil discovered in a particular country, or precious metals in any country, the hopes of a particular country or a particular people or a particular region, they go sky high. People know that in due time, treasure will be unearthed and their lives will be changed for the better, because the value of exchange of the treasure that has been unearthed is going to it's going to reach out and touch their lives directly and indirectly. And in some extreme cases, people go to war. Why are we having wars? Why are we having uncertainties in the Democratic Republic of the Congo? Why are we having uncertainties in the Sudan? Why did we have uncertainties in Angola for years on end as I was growing up? It is because people are going to war for the sake of these treasures. In extreme cases, they go to war, they ravage the very rich country. Do you know why they do this? They do this because they want to build their lives outside in. There is another treasure that we need to extract. In other words, there is treasure in all of us. The most unfortunate thing is that we have not been taught that we are, first of all, treasures. And secondly, we've not been taught how to excavate ourselves, extract our own treasures. The art of self-extraction in order to discover what that treasure is. Everything that is spirit-related is deep, because deep calls to deep. For the most part, it doesn't stay on the surface. It has got to be extracted. It needs knowledge. It needs patience. It needs time. It needs process. It needs sensitivity. It needs risking. It needs courage. It needs careful extraction in order to bring it to the surface. And we've got to be aware of this. We're going to continue talking about self-extraction in the episode that is going to follow. But I wanted us to note this, that we are totally oblivious of the message of self-extraction from people. We are totally oblivious that it is important for me at the youngest of ages to explore me, to explore my spirit, to lean into the logical conclusion of the hints of what my spirit is telling me, to be more committed and faithful to the spirit that is not known than to the word and the tradition and the culture of the day that has been proven, tried and tested. You see, if we are only doing what our fathers did and what their fathers did and what their grandfathers did and what their great-great-great-grandfathers did, why in the world will we be sent here on the face of the earth? I mean, why come? Why should I come to live here if my coming is to repeat what my father did? And he repeated what his father did. who repeated what his grandfather did. Are you getting my drift? We need to learn, instead of just being faithful to what our fathers have done, we need to learn to start excavating and extracting ourselves. So you are not raising a spirit-led child if you are not teaching them the key and the art and the science of self-extraction. Tomorrow we continue. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.